every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without Daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. So at what point do you feel the fear, do it anyways? And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior. To say that I am going to create these homes. Let me go better. I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home in them. I'm going to wait till I dissipate my fear to find a wife where I'm still going to be fearful with, because there's no such thing as not having some type of nerve or some type of feeling behind marrying somebody who you're spending your life with. And then I'm going to build a home with her while all these other beautiful babies have houses. That's completely unfair and it's selfish.
Okay, I am back with part 2, and then I'm getting ready to chill for the evening. I am going down here. Ooh, I'm shining, y'all. I'm getting ready to go down here and have dinner. Dinner is on its way. It's being delivered, and then I'm going to have movie night with my family. Part 2 of our earlier discussion today, I've had a chance to post the clip from Cam Newton's podcast, Funky Fridays. And y'all, I had a chance to look at the whole interview now. Man, let me tell you, that's what a triggered narcissistic person looks like. That's what happens when a professional person, when a well-spoken person, when a person who got their P's and Q's together, and they say something to a narcissistic person. That's exactly what it looked like. Yeah, exactly. Like, I looked at the whole interview. I was like, oh, my Lord. This poor young man. That's all I could say. And then towards the end, he just got more and more agitated and irritated. Like, it was like watching an angel irritate a demon spirit. Right? But y'all, this type of dysfunction, can we be honest? It's running rampant in the Black community. Like, he is so deep in his own reality. He's so deep in what he believes. Like, y'all need to understand something. This man believes that there's nothing wrong with what he's doing. And then what's so sad is this most recent woman that he's with, Jazzy, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time before she fall off the pedestal. She starts being devalued. Like, you need to understand how this type of personality works. And look, it's happened 2 other times. So she's in her female ego. This is what I have to warn women about. In your female ego, you will get with a man like this and think, I'm not them. I'm better than them. The first 2 wives, 3 wives, 2 girlfriends, 3, 4, 5 girlfriends. Oh, baby, I'm better than them. I'm not them. That's what these women think. And guess what? They get the same thing that the last 4 women got. Now, I done already talked at length for years about my situation, about my ex. 4 wives. He is on wife number 4. But she younger. She whiter. She better. She got some big old yitties. She got some big old fake yitties. And she got some work done. So, you know, she better than me. She better than the first wife. She better than the third wife, right? I can guarantee you, give it enough time, she's going to experience exactly what all of us experience. The one thing I've always said about my ex-husband is he has good taste in women. All of the women he's chosen, they've been amazing, right? I'm not tooting my own horn, but all of them been beautiful. All of them been smart. All of them been he has great taste in women, but he hasn't changed. And that's what these women do not realize. You get with a man like him, he's going to change women. He's not going to change. That's why he's going to keep getting the same dysfunctional results that he got the last 2 times. And so I'm just going to keep it 100. Women, This is why my platform was created. Okay, ladies, this is why my platform was created. Because guess what the antidote is to narcissism? Guess what the antidote is to never dating another narcissistic man again? It's your healing. It's your healing of your wounds. It's addressing your traumas. It's addressing your childhood stuff. It's addressing your anxious attachment or your fearful avoidant. That's the antidote. Once you do the work, and I tell everybody this, once I took 5 long years after my marriage and I sat down and I learned everything about NPD, can I be honest? That was a big reason why, other than my grandmother prophesying over me, that was a big reason why I became a therapist. I needed to understand what happened to me. I needed to understand what I just experienced. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to school and study this because I couldn't understand it. I could not understand how another human being could be this way. And learned all about the B cluster personality disorders and learned all about NPD. I was like, oh, okay. I had a young lady on the earlier live today, because this is the second live. I told y'all I was coming back for part 2. She said, why is it so difficult for women to leave narcissistic men? And I said, baby, I'm going to pick that up on part 2. So this is what you need to understand about NPD. That type of abuse, narcissistic abuse, changes the functioning of your brain. Your actual brain changes with these people and their nonsense. And the longer you're in it, the deeper you go, it's like you're not even you anymore. You have to understand that. You don't think the same. You don't, like, nothing is the same. These people rewire your brain. They rewire the synapses in your brain. That's why narcissistic abuse is so difficult to heal from. It is not your average breakup. These people, like master manipulators, they get off. I need you to understand this. They get off on this. They get off on this. They get off on the pain and the chaos and the destruction that they bring. Because in my humble opinion, somewhere, somehow it happened to them. And now they feel like, yeah, it's my job to do it to other people. It happened to me. Why should y'all not experience it? Why should y'all be free of it? They are the absolute definition of misery loves company. Narcissistic people, that's them. But again, like I said earlier, these men are so charming. They are so intoxicating. They will come off masculine. They will come off like Prince Charming. You will think, oh my, I waited my whole life. Finally, I've waited my whole life for this. I mean, this man is swooping in and buying me things and taking me places and telling me this and doing this. And he's really into me. And he's calling every day. And he's consistent. And oh my God, oh, I'm the luckiest girl in the world. He's masculine. He doesn't want me to work. He wants me to stay at home. And he wants to take care of me. Huh. Until the devaluing, until you are no longer on that pedestal, right? Until the real human you shows up, because all of it's a projection. All of it's a projection on you. And then you say or do something, that's the real you, right? That's human. Oh God, no. Or, God forbid, you see through the mask. You see through the facade, right? You start noticing the mask slipping. You start noticing, the ill behavior. And of course, the devaluing is going to start. How dare you see me? How dare you recognize my insecurity? How dare you recognize my grandiosity, my lack of empathy, my selfishness? How dare you? And baby, like I said, they're going to put their partners on a pedestal. They're going to put and look, I'll talk about the females too. Husbands and wives, they're going to put them on a pedestal. And when you come off that pedestal, baby, you can forget about it. You went from the highest of high to the lowest of low. You ain't ish. Okay? But you all got to see in real time. You got to see in real time what narcissistic personality disorder is. In real time. He not even living in reality. These people do not live in reality. They do not operate in social norms. Okay? They live in their head. There is a fantasy world in which they live in. They make the rules. You better abide by them. You better abide by the crazy rules that they make. Or trust me, there will be consequences. And all this having all these kids, baby, that's because I need more worshipers. I need more people that think I'm great. I need my kids to run around. My daddy bought this and my daddy bought that. And that's all he can do. That's all he can do is pay for private school education and buy cars and buy, tech and buy things. And that's all he can do. And fly his kids. Look, I watched one show he was in where he flew his kids in a private jet to like Disney World or something crazy. Oh yeah, that's real. That's real solid parenting. Okay. I'm going to fly my kids in a private jet to Disney World. Yay. That makes me the man. That makes me the man. Yeah. And all the kids going to be talking about it. And the baby mother's going to be talking about it. Oh, and I'm going to take care of them too. Forget the fact that this man has no character. Forget the fact that this man has no morals. And darn near lost his mess. Yeah, we talking about Cam, real though, daddy. We talking about Cam. Lost himself when she said out of her mouth, well, I think you're low functioning. You may be high value. No, baby, you're not high value. You're not high value. I don't know whose measuring stick you're using, and y'all already know whose measuring stick I'm using. You know whose measuring stick I'm using, don't you? I'm using God's economy. I'm using God's measuring stick, and you fail. You fail in the eyes of the Lord. So in my world, in the world I live in, that I function in, you are low value, you are low functioning, you are low quality. Okay? So again, you can tell yourself whatever you want. And that's what narcissistic people do. That's what sociopaths do. That's what psychopaths do. They tell themselves whatever they want and they believe it. And you better believe it too. You better believe it too. Because if you don't, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll do whatever I have to do to discredit you. You don't matter. Okay? How dare you say I'm not a high value man? And again, what is with our community? Because you got a little paper. Y'all really think because you got a little paper that somehow absolves you of being a human being. I got some paper and so I'm high value. I make XYZ dollars. That is wickedness. That is pure wickedness. This man, Nick Cannon, Neo, and all these other men with all these kids, Future, okay? This baby mama, baby daddy culture, I've already talked about it. It is destroying us. It is destroying us. And here's why I'm all up in arms. This is why I'm all up in arms. You got normal, regular, healthy, educated, people, black people looking crazy. You got every other race out here thinking that this is how we all are. You got me messed up. You got me messed up. Got us out here looking crazy. I asked some of my friends who are still married after I got a friend married 38 years. They have a son who's grown. Yeah, man, it's crazy. Got us out here making other races think this is how we all do it. No, it's not. Got us out here looking crazy. And look, for those of us who were married, let me speak for myself. For those of us who were married and the marriage didn't work out, we didn't go on to have multiple marriages, multiple men, multiple women, multiple kids. Like, no, we just sat still. I have sat on my hands since I've been divorced. What do I look like going out here and having 2, 3, 4 more kids by a bunch of different men. No, I was married to their daddy. It didn't work out. I sat down for 5 years and figured out what happened, went somewhere and actually got an actual degree so I could fully understand it, and started a business and went about my business. Just raised my children, sat on my hands, didn't go out here and have no more kids. Like, to me, that's what people of character, that's what people who have common sense do. You don't go out here and keep making child after child. And then the excuses. Hold on. Real Dope Daddy says it is confusing. You have all that money. You can find the perfect woman to be the cornerstone of your lineage. Precisely. So clearly, it ain't about that. And like I said earlier, this is the part that I'm trying to understand. So he admitted to being afraid. And that's 90% of y'all. Can I be honest? 90% of y'all are operating in fear. That's telling me everything I know about you, that I need to know about you right now. You are afraid. You are operating out of fear. And guess what? You're going to get the results you get. You're not going to get good results. Because the very thing that you are afraid of, that's what you're energetically leading with. And it is going to come back. Okay? It's going to come rushing back. That's how energy works. But this whole idea of, I had one acquaintance, I'm not going to call her a friend, acquaintance. She had been married. She had 2 children with her husband. The marriage didn't work out. She got with another guy, got pregnant again, got with another guy, got pregnant again. I said, what is this? What is happening? Well, I have good intentions. I have every intention of marrying them, or I have every intention of being with them, and it doesn't work out. What? What? But you're not married when these kids are coming. So, y'all, I can't make heads or tails of it. I just can't. I can't make heads or tails of it. He said, just get a prenup. Anything in her name is hers. Anything in your name is yours. What's the fear about? My thoughts exactly. Because this is what they were saying. Is it the fear of losing the person? Because that's going to happen whether you're married or not. Like, if it don't work out, it don't work out. So this whole idea of people playing house and living together, divorce is so life-shattering. Trust me, if you live with someone for 2 or more years and the relationship doesn't work out, it's going to feel like a divorce. You have things to split up. You got to figure out who the dog go with. Like, what don't y'all understand about that? It don't operate no different. With the piece of paper or not, you going to feel away. That's what they not telling you. You cannot protect your heart. When you're dealing with human beings, when you're laying down night after night, when you're sleeping with each other, your heart is going to get involved. Your feelings going to get involved. So if it's about the fear of losing the woman, that could happen anyway. You already done lost 2. You on your 3rd. Then if it's the fear of the money, like you said, get an ironclad prenup. What is the fear about? But you don't have no fear about how your children could long-term be affected by this nonsense. It's mind-altering. I'm still over here like, what? What? Good God. What in the world? Would you say the same for Nick Cannon? I certainly would. Or do you believe his health reason? I certainly don't. Nick Cannon is an idiot too. And again, I don't know if he has some sort of mental health challenge, but this is ignorant. It's ignorant. Okay? It's ignorant. And anybody with morals, anybody with values, it's just ignorant, y'all. All right, I see my food coming. I'm about to go downstairs. I'm up here at the window looking for my food while I'm talking to y'all. But we have got to make a change. Lord, I can't believe this man got me riled up. I'm listening to the episode and I'm riled up, y'all. At every turn. And then he got real passive aggressive. That's the narcissistic trait. Got real passive aggressive. Can I talk? Well, Dr. Cheyenne Nicole Bryant. That was real masculine, wasn't it? That was real alpha, wasn't it? Man, she said, this mindset is so scary. I just don't like the deflecting. Just be honest and say what it is. My thoughts exactly. Hey, this is what I want to do, right? This is what I want to do. I want to have a bunch of kids. I want to just, and it's the same with like the polyamory thing. They labeled it. They labeled adultery polyamory. What the? I can't make this up. They labeled adultery polyamory. You got to give it a fancy name. Well, it's polyamory. It's polygamy. No, it's adultery. You got to give it a fancy name, and that somehow legitimizes it. No, it does not. And then why you need to be married in the first place. That's the part that why don't none of y'all get married? In this polygamous lifestyle, in this polygamy and polyamory, why do any of y'all have to be married to any of y'all? That's called single, last I checked. That's called I get to get down with whoever I want. It's immoral. It's fornication. But why you gotta bring the sanctity of marriage into it? Y'all, I be hot. Like, I be upset. I be upset because you know what it is? It's people playing in my God's face. It's people playing in Jesus's face, and I be hot. I be upset. And look, God be trying to soothe my spirit, y'all, at night. It's like, Anita, I got this. Like you get so upset, you get riled up. I got it, baby. It's all gonna come out in the wash. But I be like, Lord, why they do you like that? Why they do you like that? Oh, I got to calm down, y'all. I got to calm down. But this dude, you want to study narcissistic personality disorder? All you need to do is watch Cam Newton's life. Watch his podcast. Watch the way he carries himself. But see, this the thing. He was sitting in front of a real one. Like, that's what got him. He was sitting in front of a real one. He did not expect that. He did not expect the level of intelligence. He did not expect, okay, let me give you context. He did not expect the femininity and the kindness. He didn't expect any of that. Okay? He did not expect for her to handle him in such a classy, such an amazing way. He did not expect that. And he was literally, there was several times where he was like, I don't know where to go now. Like, I don't know what to say. I don't know, like, he just, and then he had to go over here and go over there. And it was like, he just didn't even know. There were several times where he was just quiet. He was just quiet. And she filled the space. I wouldn't have filled the space. Had I been sitting across from him and I made a point, I would have did this. This is what I do in session 2. There would have been awkward silence. That was the only thing, if I was her, I would have did differently. Stop filling in that awkward space. Right? Don't fill that awkward space in. Let that awkward space, and look, his team would have edited it out, but let that awkward space be right there. I would have kept quiet. But she tried to fill that awkward space. And there was a couple times where she was like, what's up? What's going on with you? Like, what's happening? Blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't have filled that space. I would have said what I said. Let it land. Okay, Dante 76. I can't say that narcissist word is always used in every situation. I'm lost to where it even came from. So, sweetheart, I use the term narcissistic personality disorder. That is an actual clinical diagnosis, and I happen to be an actual therapist. So as someone who's worked with people for not very long, because these people rarely stay in therapy. So as someone who's worked with these people for 10 years, for someone who's studied this disorder, yes, he fits the description. How about this? As someone who is married to someone with narcissistic personality disorder. Yes, I can see it coming a mile away. That's why I keep encouraging women, do the work. Do the work, do the inner work, heal yourself, have a rich, full life. And that way, when these people come into your life, You can very clearly see that that's what's happening. Oh, this looks like narcissism. Like, let me slow it down and see what happens. Let me call it out and see what happens. And by call it out, you're just saying, hey, this is moving really quickly. Hey, there's no way you could love me in 2 weeks. Hey, like you just call it out. And that is you saying, I see you. That is you saying that I see you. Okay? But no, I don't use that word. I don't throw that word around. I only use it with people that I know for a fact have NPD. Okay, so I'm happy to say NPD because it is a clinical diagnosis. And yes, about 6% of the population has it. And yes, I think this gentleman has it. So, yeah, I know I be getting riled up, y'all. I know I do. All right, I'm going back to the comments. He thought he was doing something when he thought he was using her words against the situation. The poly stuff is crazy. They disguise it behind this village-like household where there are more hands on deck. If that's true, why don't you invite men in? Because it's about sex. My thoughts exactly. And y'all know most of the polyamorous situations, it's one man, multiple women. That black woman and her husband, they are the exception to the rule. Like them and maybe, I don't know, 2%, 1%. Like it's rarely one woman, multiple men. That's rarely the case. I'm with you. It blows my mind. Thank you, Ashley. This would be great if men had our take on this. I would love to hear your take on it. And maybe I'll make that suggestion. Maybe I'll reach out to a couple of male content creators and send them the clip and ask their thoughts about it, or have them publicly give their thoughts about it. It's dangerous that so many undisciplined and insecure people have microphones. Yeah. Yeah. So that's it. You're right, though. I would love to hear a man's perspective on it. And I mean a mature, emotionally healed man, okay? Not just any man. But I can't. It's just so dysfunctional. And the fact that he said, and then he used God's name, that's what took me out. That took me out, y'all. Well, I want more. Well, do you want to have a wife or wives or what? Just whatever God delivers, whatever. No, you did not. No, you did not use my God's name coming out of your confused mouth. The spirit of confusion. No, you didn't. God ain't got nothing to do with this. And that's what's so insane, that people have the audacity. You have the audacity to be in sin, to be doing something that's morally irreprehensible, and you call God. You put God in it. I can't do it. I can't. That's what gets me riled up, that you would be so bold as to think God is somewhere in your life. That's not how it works. God don't bless mess. He is not the author of confusion. When you are out of order, you're just out here. You're out here on your own. You have to understand that. And it's only when you're ready to get right and you repent, you are repentant, you are remorseful. And what does that mean? I'm going to stop doing that. That's when God's grace comes in. That's when God can get involved in your life again. But you're not going to sit here and tell me that you're still doing what you're doing and God blesses it all. God is blessing me. That is not how it works. Okay? He said there's way too many of us out here that believe in marriage, raising families, and building strong communities. Unfortunately, that's not what we're seeing. And my concern is that the younger generation, like, they're not seeing that. They're not seeing healthy families. They're not seeing healthy dynamics between men and women. They're really believing that this is how it is. This is how we do it. What are you talking about? Guess what? They weren't raised on the Cosby Show. They weren't raised on A Different World. They weren't raised on these shows. That's all I know. And look, this is the part I wanted her to say. If God designed it so that one man and one woman had to come together to create the child, why on earth would you believe that they shouldn't raise the child? So one man and one woman has to come together to make the child, but they're not supposed to raise it together. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. That's like women saying, well, we don't need men. We don't need men, but I'm going to go to the sperm bank and I'm going to get sperm to have a baby. That's made by men. That's made by men. You know that, right? What? what? Sperm is made in the testicles of men. So again, if there were no men, there are no babies. There's no procreation. You understand that? Do you understand that? Oh my God, it's just getting so crazy, y'all. I can't. It's just getting so crazy. She said, I'm not seeing men like that and I'm 50. Oh, Lord. Well, today, let's celebrate us that are. We can't keep making it out that there's not. No, there are. I'm like I said, I'm in my feelings. I admit it. This is what femininity looks like. Sometimes it comes unhinged. Like my feelings take over and I own it. Most days I can be cool, calm, and collected. Most days I can be stoic. But when I see something so ludicrous, so like you playing in God's face, that's when I become unhinged. I own it. I admit it. Okay? I admit it. That my emotions rise up, my feelings get the best of me, and I'm like, what are we doing out here? And there's going to be somebody that is going to actually like stamp their approval of this. Like, okay, I can't. He says, I'm 48 in a great community around a ton of strong, healthy families, 6+ successful kids. That's amazing. And we need more people like you. We need more platforms run by people like you. Because if I'm being honest, we got a lot of platforms out here and we got a lot of married people, happily married people. I want to see more Black happily married people with platforms talking out against this. Yeah. No, I believe what you are saying, that yes, there are a ton of people who know this not to be true. He said, I've never seen you like this. No, shine the light on the good. Remember, Cam is only one person. It just, like I said, I love God so much. Y'all have no idea. I love God so much that when I see people playing his face, I mean, and look, this is the truth of it. I get like this about my mama. I get like this about my daddy, right? I remember when my middle daughter, I want to say she was like 13. She was like 12 or 13. And she was acting a fool. And I don't know if we was over my mom's house or my mom was over here, but my mom was like talking to her or like, I don't know, trying to calm her down or something. And she was like, she jerked away from my mom. My mom was like trying to touch her, like, it's going to be okay. We're going to work it out. She jerked away from my mom and said, don't touch me. When I tell you, can we be real on here today? When I tell you, my daughter almost left here in an ambulance. If you think for 1 second that you are going to talk to my mother like that, like you've lost your ever-loving mind, okay? That's how I am about my father and my mother and my heavenly father. That's why I get riled up. Because I remember that like it was yesterday. And guess what, y'all? My daughter remembered it. She said, yeah, remember that time where you jacked me up? You almost choked me out. I was like, yeah, because you don't disrespect my mother. You don't disrespect my mother. Okay? Like I told y'all in 11 Live, I have issues with anger. Okay? I'm just going, hey, I'm going to be transparent today. I have issues with anger. Right? And I like to believe that most of that anger is righteous anger. It's weird because I don't feel a way about, I don't know, somebody doing something to me. That don't get me mad. It really don't. I'm like, okay, you're dumb. Like you're being ridiculous. You're doing you. But my righteous anger comes in when you are hurting someone I love, when you're disrespectful to someone I love. That's it. Y'all need to know that. That's what God working on me about. He working within me about that, because nothing is worse than seeing people disrespect the Lord. I can't take it. Like I said, I pray about it. I pray about it, y'all, every day, because I get angry. And the fact that all these people out here playing in God's face, it just does something to me. So, I remember when I was 12, I must have been 11 or 12. My dad was playing basketball. This was up in DC. and he was at the playground that we always went to. He's playing basketball. Me and my brothers watching him play basketball, whatever. I kid you not. This is at 12. And this younger dude came on the court and he was like, yeah, old man, go ahead and sit down. I got this. I got this game or whatever. He's like, yeah, old man, sit your old ass down. When I tell you I jumped up, I jumped up out of that seat. I jumped up out of that seat and was like, who you calling old? And blah, blah, blah. My dad was like, Anita, calm down. I can't take it. I cannot take someone disrespecting someone I love. It's that righteous anger in me. That's what I got to work on. That's all. So when he said, God, I said, oh, Lord. Oh, no, he did not. No, he didn't. But this has to end. And the other reason why I'm so fired up is that y'all ain't. Somebody got to be fired up. Somebody got to want change so bad. Somebody got to speak out. Somebody got to talk about it. We are literally killing ourselves. We are literally dying in front of each other's eyes by the choices that we are making. And everybody is walking around like it's not happening. Everybody is walking around like, oh, the sun, the moon, the stars, and blah, blah, blah. And y'all are literally, the choices you're making, the things you're doing is killing you slowly. And y'all act like it ain't happening. Like, like, oh, okay. Somebody got to get hyped. Somebody got to get angry. Somebody got to talk about it. Somebody got to have a zeal or a passion for the truth, because too many people don't. Y'all just like, oh, okay, okay. He got 8 kids. Okay, he can have 8 more. Like, yeah. You don't see it as problematic. So that's it. That's it. All right. You also have to remember that successful families are busy raising communities, and we are not focused on the time it has to bless these platforms with content because we are busy protecting and promoting healthy lives. I agree. I get it. I get it. I just feel like somebody's got to do it. So the good news is my kids are grown. My kids are grown. I have more time. My kids are out there in the world making their way, doing great things, and now I have time. And Titus, remember this, the scripture in Titus that says the older men are to give wisdom to the younger men, the younger husbands. The older women are to give wisdom to the younger women, the younger wives. And so I consider myself a Titus 2 woman. That is a part of my ministry. That's a part of my call. That's a part of my purpose, whatever you want to call it. That's what God dropped into my spirit. Because think about it. It's a lot of Gen Zs. It's a lot of millennials that they didn't have the old school, mama, papa. They did not have Medea. They did not have, we call her Cooker Mama. That's what we call my grandmother. They did not have that. And so they're just out here floundering. They just out here aimless, wandering around in the desert. Somebody got to speak truth. Somebody got to help these poor people, because they just out here like, yeah, anything goes. Yeah, live together before you get married. Yeah, have a bunch of kids before you get married and do all this stuff before you get married. And then when it don't work out and your whole world fall apart, why does it hurt so bad? Why? I thought marriage was just a piece of paper. Like, oh my God. He said, we feel your passion and understand. So after you get this out, can you please bring us some of that amazing relationship content that we enjoy? I will. I'm going to calm down. So I'm getting off of here now. I'm about to go downstairs and eat my food. My food is here. I bought this beautiful piece of chocolate buttermilk cake. Y'all, I cannot wait. We got this new, we have this new dessert spot, this new coffee dessert spot. And they had this chocolate buttermilk cake. I said, oh, right there. That's me. That's me right there. So I'm going to have my dinner. I'm going to eat my chocolate buttermilk cake. I'm going to calm down. Calm down. I'm going to church in the morning. Okay. And I'm going to repent. I'm going to repent for my righteous anger. Okay. Because I know I'm wrong. But when I tell y'all, I seen that whole interview and then it was parts of it I had to repeat. I was like, wait a minute, let me go back. And it just got me riled up, y'all. So y'all have a good night. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you all on the platform. If you're watching this on YouTube, the YouTube channel, that's where you can watch all of my lives in their entirety. Please subscribe to the channel. It costs you absolutely nothing. It helps creators, right? It helps us. We generate revenue through YouTube. The bigger our channel gets, the more watches we have, the more revenue we get. So it helps us a lot. Subscribe to the channel, share the videos, like the videos. All that stuff gets us in the algorithm. Okay? So it doesn't cost you a dime. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Thank you so much. I love you all. And as always, stay open to love.